Okay, exactly 29 minutes after 7. And I tell you what, if you've got comments to make on Auntie Martha's story, just go to our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Joy News on TV. Post your comment there and we'll share it with the rest of the story. If you've got a similar story to share, of course we want to hear about it. But the International Federation of Women Lawyers and Women in Law and Developments in Africa have urged the opposition New Patriotic Party not to rescind its decision to bar men from contesting in its sitting female MPs at the upcoming party primaries. The National Council of the New Patriotic Party is set to meet. They're actually meeting today for a possible review following widespread opposition to the policy. But addressing a news conference in Accra, the two groups said they would use every democratic means to ensure the party does not make a U-turn. My big guest this morning is Jen Quaim. She is the Executive Director, FIDA Ghana. I want to welcome you to this conversation. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Maybe your initial comment, first of all, about this whole NPP directive, and also take into consideration the fact that lots of people have opposed it.
Well, I think that the directive is laudable. Maybe I'll put it in context as I speak. Yeah, it's laudable because for we women human rights groups, is what we have been waiting for a very long time because of the status of women in our country. Yeah, and opposition is a positive thing to my mind, because the fact that people are reacting to it means that now there is room for more education,
okay, and
for more dialogue. And at the end of the day, to me, anything that is not opposed is not worth fighting for. I mean, look around history. The good things come up under severe opposition, but it takes determination and courage and boldness when you stand. And at the end of the day, you're able to stand your ground in spite of the opposition. Then you break into new grounds. And that is what we need in our country now.
Okay. The NPP is a political party that wants to win power. And I'm sure they want to use all legitimate means to win this power. If this directive will hurt them, then they have to reverse it.
Do they? I don't think so. What I mean is that I believe strongly that since the debate have started and education has started, more and more people will come and understand what affirmative action is all about. It's about increasing the number of women in parliament so that women's perspectives, begin to bear on decisions that matter to all Ghanaians. Who has more power than women, if I can put it that way? I think that even the increase will allow MPP to do much, much better.
But the point is, shouldn't we go and compete just as the men are doing? Do women want everything that they want on a silver platter, some people are asking? Do we just want them to give it to us?
No, this is not a question of silver platter. We are looking at historical imbalances. If you look at, it's not only even in Ghana or in Africa. The world is a patriarchal world, a men's world. You understand?
Yeah.
And so, historically, women have been pushed into the background, education-wise. I mean, socially, a girl and a child is brought up. A girl and a boy is brought up into this world. Then we encourage the boy to go to school and say, somebody will marry you, end up in somebody's kitchen. So if the money is not enough, let your brother go or help with whatever trade is there. So we push your brother. When he finishes school, why not? And he becomes a doctor or a lawyer, a politician, whatever, he'll take care of you. But most often than not, it doesn't happen. So there's been a canker, if I can use that word.
But isn't that trend changing? Because we have a lot more girls in school.
I know, but
we have women lawyers.
It's taken a long. Well, how many? What are the percentages? And it's taken a long time. Look at our parliament. We have 275 seats now, and only 30 are occupied by women. And meanwhile, if you look at the population, women are even a bit more. And I think it's because they have been disadvantaged for a long time. That is why they are not making it. So what affirmative action is all about is that putting special temporary measures. You are trying to correct something. So
okay, so you think the MPP's directive, for instance, will be a temporary measure?
Oh, sure. That is what affirmative action is all about. It's not permanent. They are temporary special measures to correct the imbalance. Once you have done the correction, then you drop it. That is what affirmative action.
But are the women interested, if I may ask? I mean, you are with FIDA. How many of your lawyers or the women that you work with are interested in going to Parliament, for
Believe
instance?
you me, they are interested. But like I said, we need to always put things in context. What has the socio-political context been like? You see, they are the very things that militate against women's moves or interests. So whereas men have been emboldened right from the beginning of their lives, women haven't been that emboldened. That is why it takes education, it takes explanations and more insights into what you want them to do. Yeah.
I don't know, but it sounds to me as if, you know, women, we say we can do what the men do and we can do it better.
Yeah.
But we still want easy ways through in getting to
I don't think
places.
it is easy way. I don't agree that we want it.
But haven't we been competing well enough?
We haven't been competing because the field have not been plain and fair.
Okay, maybe
right
we
from
can.
The beginning.
So why don't we break the fair field down so that we can better understand it?
Like you rightly said, we are progressing as a nation, but you see, it is taking such a long time that if you do not put in place affirmative action, whilst you are also bridging that gap, then there will come a time. Then it will take so long that you won't even be able to record your gains. You won't be able to record your gains because putting in measures takes time. It takes political will. It takes resources. What they call in international circles progressive realization of socio-economic rights. You realize it progressively because you may not have enough funds to do so. And as African nations, especially developing countries, we are even more disadvantaged. So when you have the money, you see, what our governments find themselves, they find themselves in dilemma. When I have money, do I put it in health? Or do I put it in education? Or do I put it in where? And so you do a bit at a time, what you can, depending on your resources. You realize that progressively, and that takes a while.
I'm also thinking that shouldn't these 30 women in Parliament, for instance, do things that will make us want to keep them and would also make other women want to be in Parliament? Shouldn't we be delivering and impressing so much that people would realize they can't do without us?
Why should women,
but when we go and we are quiet,
why should women
for
try
instance,
so hard?
No, but that's,
when nobody
but that's the reality.
is asking whether the men are delivering. But nobody is asking that question.
But isn't that the reality? We want to be seen. We want our opinions to be taken into consideration.
Doing badly.
We want to. But I can count the number of women who would usually comment even on political and social issues in our country. It will be the same women that you call. They are the same people that you call. The others would give you excuses or you can't get through to them at all.
I don't think they are doing badly. I believe strongly that if we put in these affirmative action measures, and mind you, it's not after forwarding the women. You need other measures. It comes with training, you know, it comes with education, it comes with capacity building, it comes with empowerment. You are doing everything you can. That's the idea of affirmative action. You are doing everything you can so that the women will be enabled. They'll be enabled to stand in the place where they can now also contribute meaningfully and well. That is the whole idea. Because the trees say that I believe that women have a lot to contribute if they are encouraged and they are empowered. If you take a girl child to school, you know, a girl child who has been to school and a girl child who has the opportunity to go to school, you find a lot of our mothers, they are extremely intelligent women. You understand what I'm saying? They are so intelligent, it's unbelievable. Yet because of maybe inability to go to school, they are not able to utilize all that that capacity of intelligence which they already have. You understand me? They don't get the opportunity to be in decision-making places where they can begin to influence things that concern the nation and concern development. Whereas when another girl child has had the opportunity to go, if I hadn't gone to school, I wouldn't be here. I'm a guy. Probably I would be somewhere in Salaga market trying to earn a living. Tomatoes, fish, anything. But it was because my daddy decided that I should go to school. And that is how come I'm now sitting here trying to contribute a little bit to Ghana's agenda. So it makes a lot of difference. And a lot of women did not get that opportunity because of what we believe in as a people.
Shouldn't we then continue to be pushing that education agenda?
We are pushing it seriously. That's what I'm saying. As for education, we are pushing the agenda, but we are saying...
Are we making is that resulting in anything positive for us?
It is, but it takes, I keep saying, it takes a while. You put a child in school from class 1. It takes now how many years to finish and even go to university and even pursue whatever, you know. It's a long period. So in years to come, we will reap the benefits. But what do we do now? Do we just sit and say, well, let's wait till the women are ready? No, that is what affirmative action is all about. You are not saying, and believe you me, there are a lot of women out there. If you look at the 2012 elections, for example, at least we got 30 women into parliament. Previously, it was lower. That was in 2008. Yeah. I think the number was 2004. The number was 25. Then 2008 it dropped to 20. And then there were moves for affirmative action. You know, so the political parties graciously reduced the filing fees, etc., etc. And then we got an upsurge of 30 women. You understand? So it's not that the women are not there, but the things that are holding them back are many. Even the number of women who stood nationwide increased in 2012 as a result of the lowering of the filing fees. So I believe strongly that there are women out there who, when they have been well informed, you know, and when the field has been made fair, they will come out and stand. If you say, okay, only women should contest the women seats, it's fair. It's not as if they are barring, everybody, that it is only these ones who should remain forever. No.
So what if you don't get women in some of these constituencies who are interested in standing? It makes those who are already there go unopposed. And
why not? Because we are trying to correct.
What if they are not performing?
Imbalance.
What if they are not performing? Because that's one of the other things that has come out.
So what are they using to measure their non-performance? Until we have done.
There are people in the constituency who feel that the MPs are not active enough.
Until we have done enough, maybe research to prove non-performance. I think it's just hearsay. It's just hearsay.
But how about the people who live in these constituencies who think that the MP promised this, that, and has not delivered? At least these are measures you can measure.
But there are, you'll be surprised that there will be others too in the constituency who are lauding them. It's a matter of where you stand. It's a matter of opinion. It's a matter of where you stand. So why don't
we allow them to go through the primaries and come out successful? Because you see, once the MPP has taken this action, the NDC and the other parties have not come out to say anything. Yeah. So what it means is, if you go on the ticket of the NPP, you will probably be competing with men.
Yeah, yeah. But at least you've been given the opportunity, you know, to within your party. We are saying let's hold the seats. And yes, you will still be competing with men. But you see, the point that we are trying to drive is that you come up with these affirmative action measures, they will still be competing with men the same way that they were able to win, and as a result they are now in parliament. Who knows, they can still win and maintain their seats, and all those women are confident that they'll win. You see, they don't go out there with the hope that they will lose. No, they strive hard, they put in their best, and that is how come some have even maintained the seat and so on and so forth. So they are not thinking that they are going to lose, even when they are competing with men from the other parties. And I believe strongly that if this comes to stay, it will not be long. The other political parties will also join.
You think so?
Oh, I'm positive.
Before the next election, I mean, we have elections next year.
You see, anything can happen, my dear. Anything can happen.
Wouldn't the other political parties be taking advantage? Because if these women are, for instance, weak candidates in their opinion, then they will put up strong men to compete, knowing that they can grab the seats from them.
Grabbing seats is not automatic. Everybody has to work hard, you see, when it comes to that one. So I don't think they can take advantage of them. And like I said, the people are mobilizing, you know, people are mobilizing. I believe also that once these women even are confident that this is what we have, they will even do better. They will try and put in more strategies. All of us in the Women's Human Rights Organizations are prepared to back them, you know, with in whatever way we can. So
you would campaign for these women?
Not campaign, but what we do from our end. We don't campaign, as in the word campaign, for a political party, but we get support from donors to bring more education, more training, things that will sharpen them up. You understand what I'm saying?
If the NPP, for instance, upheld this decision, you would back their women MPs?
Why not? And any other woman in any other political party.
Okay.
Any other woman in any other political party.
And you're saying you give them exactly what?
We can't offer money. We don't have.
Okay. But you know, money plays a really, really important role. I mean, whether we like it.
Yes, yeah.
That's a reality.
But you give them skills so that they know how to fundraise. You know, you give them, you empower them. That's the word. Yeah, through all kinds of training. And when we have been doing this since 1999, you know, this is not the first time. We have helped many women, even at the district assembly level, to all kinds of training, fundraising, how to communicate, how to stand on platforms, and so how to lobby, and so on and so forth.
Are we seeing the results of that kind of push, that investment?
Yes, slowly we are seeing it. It's a bit slow, you know, but the investment so far have been worthwhile, because without it, we probably may have been more behind than we already are.
You know, shouldn't women groups such as FIDA be pushing for these actions either to be taught in school or to be incorporated in a curriculum or something of the sort, so that we get it from the very beginning, instead of back actions like these on the very top, which may not really become a reality?
It sounds a bit too late at that time. Well, it's not a bad idea. I think that now, at least for the primary schools, I know that some of the things they study, yeah, because when my kids were in primary school, they were learning about gender and the sexes and so on and so forth. So in a small way, it's already in the school's curriculum, yeah. But more can be done. I agree, yeah.
So what are the expectations of these women? Are we just pushing women to parliament because we want women to be parliament? What do you expect from them?
We want women's voices to be heard. The meaning being that we are made up of a country of men and women. So why should just one voice speak all the time? Does it mean that the other voice has nothing to contribute? We have a lot to contribute.
The 30 in Parliament, how loud are they, even in Parliament?
How loud can you?
Issues?
How loud can you be when you are only, you know, one of our FIDA members of blessed memory, anytime we go to the communities and we are doing advocacy, we usually speak in Tree or Ga because of the grassroots nature. Say, who call district assembly? If I'll be allowed to speak the Tree, and then I'll interpret.
Sure.
Who call district assemblies now? Emano, omutu mu baku to say moko awa abre. Yes, sir. Omuntu min kasa because omundo also. What she's saying is that when you enter the district assembly, the women, you can handpick them like red ripe pepper. You know when you have a field of pepper and it's beginning to ripe. It all doesn't ripe at the same time. Yeah. So you see them sticking out. And there is strength in numbers. So when they are so alone, the whole atmosphere itself can be intimidating. Yeah. You see, but when you have you go in your numbers, then even the meekest is able to say something because of the numbers behind. So I believe that women have a lot to bring to bear on Ghana's development agenda. When you go into the communities and developmental issues like pipe-borne water, health, maternal mortality, and stuff like that, at least they are in a better position to contribute because it's more of an experiential something for them. When there's no water, when you go into the villages, you see who looks for water. You see them walking for miles on end looking for water. When a woman is pregnant and she's riding behind a bicycle at the peril of her life, looking for a health post. You see, so when the issue is at your doorstep, when you find yourself, or even you have gone through it before, when you find yourself in a place where you can make a decision, or you are supposed to contribute to a development agenda, believe you me, they are the very issues that you bring on the table, because they are the ones that are most pressing and most immediate on your mind.
So, you know, some people have argued, and this will probably be the last issue, that why do women push so hard when in the end they would be married, they would be pregnant, they would have children, whether they like it or not, they have to live a family life. So you're pushing. How far can you go?
You can't live this life. What is the word? Dormant, if it's the right word. We push because God has given us the capacity to push. It's a natural thing. You know, when I finished law school, then I got married. Then after having my 4 kids, around 2008, I said, I think I need to improve on myself again. So I went back to do my master's in law. Just this 2008. I pushed because I realized that the world was growing and it was not enough just to have a law degree or BL, that is what qualifies me to practice as a lawyer. I've been called to the bar, I have that one too. But I said, no, I'm interested in women's issues. I'm interested in a whole lot of things. Let me go back to school. And I realized when I came back, I'm doing better in what I do. Then 2 years later, I'm a Christian, a religious person. I said, well, why? I know about God, so on and so forth, but I want to go to school on it. I want to know the academic side. So I enrolled in, and in the midst of all this, I'm still a mother, I'm still pushing. So my children look at me and they say, wow, mommy, your standard is high. We had better sit up. You understand me? So we push because it is an inherent thing. We have been, just like the men, it's been put in us. And depending on how you get the opportunity to move on. Your mind and your everything makes you want to push more. There's nothing wrong with pushing. You become a better person. So I'm still married. I still have my children, but I'm still pursuing my career. And so on and so forth.
Let me push you a little further. Some people will say because you don't have, babies, your children are grown, so they can do things in the home. Not all women have it that way.
So that's what makes me able to push. Is that the point? But before the children became babies, we were pushing. We were working. You wake up in the morning, you get them ready quickly. You take them to school, you drop them in school, then you go to work. Because we live in an environment where you can't, your husband's income is not alone is not enough. You need the income of the both of you to be able to realize whatever dreams and aspirations you have as a family. Yeah, so you still push even at that level.
In your own home, this is getting a bit personal. Is your husband the boss? Or because of equal rights, all of you have a say?
My husband is very much the boss. And what does boss is a subjective word. Boss is a subjective word. When you mean boss, do you mean
I guess what I'm asking is he the one in control?
And threatening
is he still the head?
To slap anytime I misbehave?
No, but is he still the head? Do you listen to him?
Oh, a lot.
Do you feel like you're supporting him, or you feel we're all equal? Because that's another issue with the men.
Okay. Oh, I feel that my husband is very supportive whatever I do, and I also support him. My husband is a medical doctor, whilst I am in the legal profession. If it were not working, would have divorced long ago. I've been married. This is my 25th year.
Oh wow!
Of marriage. It works. If you want it to work and if you understand. Do you understand me?
I understand you. I'm looking at you and I'm thinking.
I believe strongly that
I can do it.
You can do it, my dear. 25 years, a doctor and a lawyer.
Yeah.
Somebody would think it should have collapsed long ago because I may be thinking that no, but my Christian principles also help me in many ways. You see, because I believe what my Bible tells me. And what I like about my husband is that he's a very understanding person. So whereas somebody would not understand maybe what you do and the path that you have taken, he tries. So you say, so explain this gender thing to me. What does it mean? So are you trying to say that you are supposed to be the head? I said no. That's not what it means. This is what, and even the equality we are talking about is equality in terms of the law. Law, not in terms of who is being boss. What I mean by law is, it means that when there are resources to be shared in a nation or consider vulnerable groups. So the equality is about equality before the law.
Okay.
You understand?
Sure. All right. I want to say thank you, Madam Jane Kwe, really, because you're one of the few women who make our 7 a.m. call. That's been one of my headache as well.
I know.
So I want to say thank you.
I had to wake up early. You're welcome.
And I say that you don't do it all the time, so once in a while.
Yeah, it's okay.
But let me share a few messages because we put this on our Facebook page. Here's Gideon Yao Ampofo saying, I don't share that view, and the view is, should women be given everything on a silver platter just because they are women? And he says that will make them lazy. Khadija Bright says, big no. Ibrahim says, why do you women want to challenge your husbands? See, we are Africans, so our African culture plays men as the leaders, and even religiously. Look at the few women we have in positions. When you go to them to serve you for their reasons, for the reasons being there, they end up telling you trash. Even to people who are older than them, the world is truly coming to an, oh my God, for women challenging men. Ezi Mensa says, even in Planned Kingdom, they compete for survivor. So different views there, but I think that my guest has made it clear. Equal before the law. We're not talking be boss over. And I am using the boss because I feel it's in the context that people can understand. Yeah. But thank you very much for your time. And keep the conversation going on Facebook. Stay with us. Coming up next, have you ever attempted to give meaning to the phrase music for food. We started that yesterday. It's a continuation of that here on the AM show. Enjoy.